What's up, everybody? Jordan Pyle here, Pyle Residential with Keller Williams, Chicago Lincoln Park, back again with a third video that I'm releasing on my new YouTube channel, which before we even get into this, go subscribe to it, go check it out. Follow along this year in 2020 as we're going to be putting a lot of video content out, and I want you guys to be able to take advantage of it and follow along. So wanted to come on here today, something incredibly exciting that I'm very, very passionate and pumped up about, as you can see, is a goal of mine for 2020. Although it is a personal goal, it is a goal that will transpire into my business, into the level of service I provide, and ultimately every single area of my life in order to enhance it and take it to the next level. So here it is, September 13th, 2020, I will become an Ironman. That is right, an Ironman I signed up for the race in Madison, Wisconsin. It is the full Ironman 140.6, which for those of you that know or do not know, the full Ironman consists of 3 sports. So it is starts with your swim, then it goes into your bike, and then it finishes off with a run. But the distances, what make it what they call one of the hardest endurance sports in the world, is because of the length of the sports and the length of the race in general. So this race is going to take, hopefully, under 12 hours. That is kind of my goal that I'm setting out there. The ultimate goal is to complete it, but knowing my competitive drive, once I get in this training, I'm going to make sure that I'm going as fast as I can. But so like I said, it starts out with a swim. So it's important to know that I am not a swimmer whatsoever, but the swim is 2.4 miles, which, to put that in perspective, is anywhere between an hour and 120 minutes. An hour and 20 minutes, so 80 minutes, followed immediately by a bike ride, which is 112 miles, and that takes anywhere between, let's call it 6.5, 7 hours, and then to top it all off, it's a light cool down with a marathon. So the marathon is 26.2 miles, which adds up to the whole 140.6. You may be thinking, why would you even consider doing something crazy like this? What the hell are you thinking? You're not a swimmer, you're not a biker. I am a runner, but I'm not running marathons every day. And there's really 5 reasons, and that's what this video is all about, because even though it's a personal goal, I want to lead kind of the year off with this one to inspire you all to go out there and set a huge goal for 2020. Because when I was thinking back on my year and where I want to go in 2020, I was just really trying to understand what is like one big goal that will push me, and through the process of achieving it will allow me to achieve all my other goals, both business, personal, financial, health goals, etc., etc. And what I arrived on is doing the Ironman. So a couple of reasons, right? So first off is doing an Ironman. Ever since I think I saw a video a while back about the Ironman specifically, and people kind of limping across the finish line, crawling, and I was always like, wow, that looks really brutal, but I want to do it one day. And to me, going into kind of this time of year, this fourth quarter, is always a big goal setting period of time, planning, preparation. My mind is really thinking about what do I want to accomplish in the new year, and I was like, okay, I originally wrote that down as a 5-year goal, because I typically do 5-year, 1 year, and then I break that down from quarters into months and then into weekly goals. And I wrote it down as a 5-year goal, and then, like I said, I was thinking, let's think about simplicity this year. So there's too many years that have went by where I've set so many goals, too many of them, too big of goals, and fell miserably short, quite frankly. Not that I didn't grow tremendously, but a lot of the goals I've set, I wanted to do too much, and it just equated to me doing very poorly or very average in all these different categories. So I said, why not do this year? So we moved the timeline of the 5-year goal of completing an Ironman to completing it by September 13th, 2020, which will happen. I will complete it. I have no doubt in my mind. And really what that's all about is the idea of, like, we're not promised tomorrow, right? None of us know if we're going to be living through the night, let alone next week, next month, 5 years from now. So Jesse Itzler, I don't know if you guys know Jesse Itzler. He's the founder of NetJets, and he's a very successful man, and he's actually married to the billionaire founder of Spanx, which you may know, Sarah Blakely. And he talks about this idea, and I've heard it through a mentor of mine, Tommy Choi, as well, that the average American in the country lives to about 78 years old. So if I'm 30 years old, that means I'm almost 30, I'm not there yet, 29, but if I'm gonna be 30 in August this coming year, that means I have 48 more summers to live, 48 more Christmas, 48 more New Years. And when you start to think about time like this, and let's say I see my parents 4 times a year, you're not seeing your parents for another 48 years, because let alone they're already older than you. So let's say they're 60 and the average age is 78. That means you have 18 years left with them. But if you only see them 4 times a year, well, it's 18 times 4. I'm not going to do the math, but that's how many more times you have with your parents. So the same thing goes for your goals. Like, don't wait and push them off, because you don't know if you're ever going to accomplish them. And there's a quote out there, another quote, I'm a big quote guy, about there's more dreams that have died in the graveyard. There's more dreams that never came true, and they rest in the graveyard. And I don't want to be one of those people to let my bucket list, or what Jesse calls his fuck it list, I don't want to let that expire. I want to make sure I'm living my life to the fullest and living up to my limitless potential. So that's one reason. Second off, and this is gonna be a little longer video, so hang with me if you're still here today. This is gonna be about 20 minutes or so, but the second reason is it's gonna force me to be incredibly disciplined, focused. It's gonna make me prepare better. It's gonna lead me to get leverage in my life, whether that be in my business or other things that I'm involved with. So all this combined has led me to set this huge, massive goal, which today feels impossible, but as I'm starting to train and starting to make those incremental adjustments and those incremental improvements, I'm already just super excited about pushing the limits. So those are the 2 reasons, the idea of that tomorrow is not promised, and the idea of setting a massive goal, which in turn will lead you to all your other goals throughout the process of accomplishing it. So I'm gonna break down now 5 reasons. Those are more the themes that I just mentioned, but these are the 5 specific reasons that I'm doing this goal. And as a lot of you guys know, the first reason is my love of health and fitness. Aside from real estate, aside from my family, friends, relationships, health and fitness is what I love to do. So if I'm not working, I'm not spending time with loved ones, not becoming a better me, I'm typically working out, and whether that is riding a bike, running, working out in the gym, lifting weights, I love becoming the best version of myself, and that's reason number 1. And this is a way that it's gonna force me to do that. Number 2, this one I really like the idea of this. So the idea, and I've been fascinated with this lately, about finding the outer limits of the mind and what is actually possible. So I think it's so spot on that the Ironman's slogan is anything is possible. And I truly believe that. I think with the right discipline, preparation, focus, confidence, that anything you want to do in your life, whether it be fitness related, whether it be financial, whether it be business, relationship related, spiritual related, anything you want to do, you can do with the right focus and discipline. I like to say, and I was on the bike this morning, it's something my dad has always told me: stay in your lane. Blinders on, stay in your lane, and if by doing so, incrementally over time, the compound effect will take in, and then it's gonna be suddenly, and then gradually, you accomplish all those goals. I love the idea also about becoming comfortable with the uncomfortable. And this is definitely going to tax me to the fullest extent, both mentally, physically. It's the idea of that the body has limitations, but the mind does not. And there's a quote out there, another quote, I'm going to be dropping lots of them. I think it's by David Goggins or someone like that, which is what I just mentioned, that the body has physical limitations, but the mind does not. And I truly believe that this thing is the most powerful muscle in the body, and you can get through anything, and your body will adapt to break through. Another thing I want to talk about is kind of this whole exploration process. Think about not only the race is 12 hours long, but all the training that's going to go into it. So just this morning I was on the bike for 80 minutes. Yesterday I ran for 52 minutes and followed that immediately by an hour and a half swim. So there's going to be countless hours on this bike where I'm going to be able to take in information, sit with myself, sit with my thoughts, work through troubled situations, equations in my mind, and ultimately find clarity in who I am deep at the core, and let that shine through in my real world interactions once I do that deep work. I'm a big fan of that deep work and callousing the mind, right? Because David Goggins mentioned, he's one of my favorite people. If you have not looked into any of his stuff, you should go and check it out. I mean, he talks about this idea of doing this physical training and this mental training to face adversity and to be able to look adversity in its face, so that one day, you know, you're callousing your mind so that one day when, whether it be someone passing away or someone leaving your world, or, you know, those people that you depend on and that you live for, when they go away, that you don't fall apart. And let that sink in. So when those people you love go away, making sure that you don't fall apart and that you're so mentally strong that you can face that adversity. Yes, you should grieve. Yes, you should spend time to sit with yourself and figure out and take lessons, take joy and gratitude from that situation. But to let that cripple you is, you know, the one thing I know that I've learned over time is that the life in the world goes on. No one gives a shit about if you're sitting and sulking in depression. I'm not saying that it's not okay to have depression, because I definitely think it is, and I've had different bouts of depression, you know, minor forms of it, and I just think that, you know, being able to fail faster and move forward and push through, because like I said, the world's going to continue spinning, and you just got to be on for the ride. So that is number 2. Number 3 kind of goes back to what I mentioned in the beginning about discipline, preparation, and leverage. So by having such a strict training regimen, it's going to force me to use my time efficiently. There's so much time that I feel like I waste on a daily basis, on a weekly, monthly basis. I feel like I'm getting a lot done, but just think about if I knew that I had to be at the office from 8 to 5, out on showings and intentional and present with all my interactions with people, because I had to train twice a day. Not by any means it's going to take away from my business. It's not going to take away from the level of service I provide, but it's going to make sure that I'm doing what I need to be doing when I say I'm going to be doing it, no matter what, even if I don't feel like it. And I do believe one thing that I know I struggle with is being present in the day-to-day. And I know that by having limited time and being structured like this, it's going to force me to be present in all my interactions. And I'm super excited about this because, like I said, it's something I'm working on, and I know that this is going to lead to a breakthrough with me feeling good and being where my feet are, which is one of my favorite quotes, which is be where your feet are. Second part of that is leverage. So it's going to force me to not spend time majoring in the minors. And that's kind of a quote that I use, or a phrase that I use, meaning I have certain things that I'm good at that I've recognized as my strengths. Why should we all spend time focusing on our weaknesses? We don't get energy from it. It feels like a suck of our energy, a suck of our time. So by having 2 or 3 things in my life that I'm very passionate about, which is real estate, relationships, and health and fitness, as well as personal development and a couple others, it's going to allow me to level up to that next point where I can hire on people to the team, to provide leverage to perform some of the administrative tasks that I'm not so good at, or to leverage certain design or marketing elements that I shouldn't be spending hours on every week, so that I can be spending more time in front of you guys, making sure that your needs are heard and your needs are met. Because at the end of the day, I'm still a real estate agent. That is my #1 priority aside from anything else. And I want to make sure that you guys are taken care of, and all of this will result in a better client experience. And then third, running my business with things are based around things that I already love to do. So I've recognized over time, and it's taken me 6 years to get to this point, that I'm just not going to be a cold caller. You know, I think cold calling is for some people. I just realized that I'm not going to do it, even though if I put it in my plan and I say I'm going to, you know, block out a calendar block here and go and make 50 cold calls, I'm just not going to do it. I don't get the energy from it. Again, it's all about energy management more than it is about time management. And I want to do things and create opportunities and community with all of you guys, so that I can do things I want to do that aligns with things that you already like to do, and attract those type of people into my world, and be able to run my business based on that. So for example, I am super excited about this too, and this has not come out yet, but I am creating a training club. It's going to be something I haven't decided yet whether we're going to meet once a week, twice a week, once a week or twice a month. I think it's probably going to be once a week, same day, same time every week. We're going to start this out, and I'm calling it the Limitless Training Club, LTC for short. And it goes back to the idea of limitless, being limitless. So my word for the year, if you guys have ever read the book, Your One Word, it's by John Gordon. What I've defined for my word this year is limitless. meaning that anything is possible and I can do everything that I want to do, even if it doesn't seem like it's possible. So LTC, or Limitless Training Club, is going to be a group of athletes. I'm going to call these limitless athletes that are going out there and striving for prime health and fitness through the means of likely a run club to start, because running is my primary sport. So likely we'll probably meet on Saturdays or Sunday mornings, early in the morning, meet at a central location, maybe somewhere in Old Town, Fleet Feet, or that Starbucks at North and Wells. And we're gonna just go out together and run. Whether we're at different paces or different distances, I just want that to be a meeting place so that we can all find our community within our community. That would mean a lot to me if you're interested in raising your hand and participating. And I think I didn't call it Limitless Running Club because I don't only run. I'm gonna be biking, I'm gonna be swimming, lifting weights, taking classes, doing yoga. And I want this to evolve over time into Limitless Training Club, which is a group of athletes that are very focused on their health and fitness, that want to train in all these different mediums. So I'm very excited about that. There will be more news to come there. Number 4 is leading by example. I think there's so many people out there, like we talked about with the dreams dying in the graveyard, and I want to show others through my own actions, walking the talk and not just talking the talk, that anything you set your mind to, you can accomplish. Anything is possible, which is the Ironman slogan, and I want you to discover that for yourself. Last but not least, I am very into Alzheimer's, as you guys have known in the past, and I don't mean to say this for last, it's just a slightly different element of what I'm doing here. So, as you know, last year, or maybe you don't, but I raised over $17,000 for the Alzheimer's Association, as I have a grandmother who has been stricken by the disease, and I've seen the fast decline of her health, and specifically mentally, and how that's equated to kind of quality of life. And it's really sad, and I know a lot of people are facing the adversity of Alzheimer's, whether it be personally or someone in their family, a friend, coworker, and it's a disease that I want to fight for. So my whole thing around this Ironman is that I'll be racing to raise money for the Alzheimer's disease, and it's 140.6 miles, right? So I figured I want to raise $100. So again, $100 for every mile that I'm going to be racing. So that comes out to 140.6 miles, which is $14,600. So by race time, I want to have raised that amount so that I can give that over to the people that need that money to help provide funding on promoting brain health, and because that's one thing of it, right? Is it's not just finding a cure for someone that's already has Alzheimer's. It's about how do we do preventative measures to make sure that our generation, that we don't end up being worse off than the generation that currently has Alzheimer's. And it is reversible, it is preventable, and it's through brain health, and it's through health, fitness, eating healthy, good health habits in general, as well as meditation and reading and doing all these things to basically exercise your mind. So kind of the idea here is that I'm going to be racing to become victorious over my mind, because it is more of a mental battle for those who have lost the ability to do so after becoming stricken with Alzheimer's. So I hope that resonates with you. Everything I do it for a reason. This is coming straight from the heart here. I know we're almost at 20 minutes. If you're still with me, you're my true fan, and I want to be in your world just as much as you're in mine. So let me know how I can help you. This will be the last video about my personal self, meaning setting the stage. I will be checking in, obviously, through Instagram stories and other videos throughout the year, because I know a lot of people are in this health and fitness space, and maybe they want to learn how to train for an event and kind of follow along the journey, because it is a massive goal, and I think there's going to be a lot of cool elements to it. So I hope you guys tune in. But starting January 1st, 2020, we're going to be very focused on providing real estate education for you guys so that you can make the best real estate decisions possible, whether it be buying, selling, investing in real estate. So follow along. You're going to get all this. You're going to get real estate, business, entrepreneurship. You're going to get health and fitness, eating habits, healthy habits. You're going to get personal development, philosophy. You're going to get some things about meditation and the power of the mind. And then lastly, you're going to get stuff about my young professional involvements and my Alzheimer's involvement. So again, go over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button, follow along. I've just got a few videos out there. I'm still learning how to do all this, so bear with me. but I want to grow that up to 500 subscribers this year, and I hope that you're one of them. Thank you for listening in to this. I hope you're inspired, that you go take this, what I'm saying today, put this into your own life, set a massive goal for 2020, and go out and conquer your fears and become the best version of yourself. Thank you so much.